In this session, we're going to discuss inventory management. So from my home ribbon, I go to Enterprise Setup, and let's do a quick search for inventory. So inventory management is done under the inventory materials. Now, if you need a refresh on how to actually enter the inventory, please watch the tour on inventory material entry. So from this screen, we can manage several functions of the inventory. So let's kind of break it down into two parts here. First of all, inventory materials. Each one of these boxes represents an entry in a material card or material item. So if I want to search everything, I can go to all. I can do it by profit center or by category. Now, one thing about searching by profit center or all, anytime I do this and I go up and hit search at the top left corner, the system will prompt me to type in a code. And the reason it does that is if you have a lot of inventory items in here, it will slow down. Sometimes we have customers with, 10, 15, 20,000 part numbers. So I do have to type in a code, click on OK, and now I'm going to wait for it all to come up. So this is going to depend on how many items you actually have in inventory, on how fast it works. If you wish to break it down by a simple category, it's much easier. Click on search, and there we have just the one category. Now the type is you can either pull inventory only items, consignment only items, or all of it at one time. And you can search in any box or combination of boxes. For example, I want anything that starts with the part number 21 that is called a filter. So I hit search. Now it's only going to pull up anything with 21 somewhere in the part number and filter in the description. So use any box or combination of boxes to search. Each one of these columns represent a different part of the inventory card. So if I go open a card, I'm going to just double click on the second one here. Each one of these parts here that you see will be represented here in each column. Now these columns can be mix and match however you like. If you want to move them around, just simply click on a column and drag it, and then you can rearrange the order. Now this is a workstation setting, so once you set it on your computer, it will remember. It will remember. You don't have to come back and reset it every time. Now when you first come in here, you'll notice it's pretty lengthy. See, it runs kind of off the end. I have to scroll back and forth. I can also scroll up and down. At the very top of the screen, you do have what we call a column chooser. So if there are columns you're not going to use or don't need, you can simply open this up and you just uncheck the columns you don't want. Or I can just turn them all off and then go back and check the ones I do want. So if I don't necessarily need to see cores, I don't need to see catalog, might not even need to see size on this one. So I can do that. I hit my little red box with the X in it, and that closes it up. So again, you can kind of set the layout here how you like it. How do you like it? If you want to put them all back, just hit reset, puts them all back, and then you go change them around again. On the top left, search is exactly what it says. It's going to search for whatever you have plugged in here in these boxes. Reset just resets the search. See, now I can go back and say, well, hey, bring me everything up in oil lube maintenance. Search by part number gives you the capability to search for multiple part numbers at one time. Now you do need to know the part number. So if I type in a couple of numbers here, I put a comma, put another number. So you just put a comma in between there, hit search, and it's going to search just for those specific numbers. So you do need to know the part number, what it actually is. Let's go back and hit search again, pull it all up. You can add a brand new part number back here. That's the entry. I can edit and delete. So if I want to edit this, I click and hit edit, and then I can go change whatever I need to change. And I can delete. Now, the thing you got to be careful with about deleting is that if there are parts in stock at the location or on a work order, won't let you delete it. So if you try to delete this and it won't let you, then you need to go to the locations and see if you have any in stock. It won't let you delete something that you have in stock or on a work order. Batch update. Batch update just simply means I want to do something uniform to 2 or more items at the same time. Now there's several batch update features, and in this session we're going to discuss the ones you can do directly off of your list here. So if I wanted to batch update my oil filters, for example, first thing I may want to do is go in here and let's just go to description and pull up all the oil filters. So here I have a series of oil filters. I might want to put some sizing in or change something in here. So to do this, I just simply click on the first item that I want to do. I can scroll down, go to the last item, hold my shift key, click again. So anything that I highlight in blue here, I can batch update, batch update. So I click on batch update, it pulls that list across. If I accidentally bring something across to this batch update that I do not want to do, let's take a look at this. Maybe I don't want to change this one here. I click it and I just remove it from the list. Now I could very well do that same search here. It's just easier to do it beforehand and select what you want to do. I click on next. Now it's going to ask me, I would like to blank to the 11 listed material items. So here's the list of items. I can update inventory material information. So when I click on next, I can update any or all of these items. If I want to move them from one category to another, I certainly can. So it does them all at one single batch. I can change a description. So that'll change the description on all of them. Manufacturer. I can enter a code if I wish, a size, a shelf location. Now this shelf location, which is a grid, that is going to be done at the location, at the individual locations. Definition. If I want to go enter a definition in, I certainly can. Conversions, how do I buy and sell? Now remember, if I do this one here, it's going to switch all of them, all of them. You want to be very careful what you're doing here. Do I want to do fractions? Do I want to switch it from inventory to consignment, vice versa? Do I want to enter a buy factor? So again, I'm going to do the buy factor only if I'm changing this conversion off of 1-to-1. Lows and highs you can set here, or again, that's typically set at the location. Cores, line grouping is done at the location. Do I want to lock the sell price? I want to lock it. So again, if I lock sell price, as a reminder, I'm not only locking what it's selling for, I'm locking the cost. So remember that, it's very important. In other words, you can't change it at the location. It has to be updated at the enterprise. Enable online cataloging. Again, this is going to be for people that have online catalogs, so other shops can go into their inventory online and place an order for parts, and it just creates a counter sale within the system. So we're going to make sure that the definition is set for all of these. So I click on next. I hit start. I wait for it to say completed. Close. Now to get the change, in other words, to see the change that you did, just hit search again. It'll refresh and then everything will be changed. Another way you can batch update too is just simply click, hold your control key and pick. So you can pick what you want to do. You can click and drag. It's just, however you want to set this. I just might have a few items that I want to do. Maybe I just want to go update a few things. Let's go batch update again. So I'm going to update these 4 items. Except this time I'm going to update the selling price. Now this other one here, update inventory material information from a file, we're going to do this in a separate training session. So what can I do here? Well, I can go set the selling price for all 3 of my price levels that I have here. So I can set each one. I might want to set this one at a 50% margin. I might want to say on the fleet price, it might be a cost plus 60%, and my whole goods I want to set just at cost. So I can do any or all of these at one time. Pick and choose whatever you want to update. Once you go through and hit next, start, then it changes the pricing. Close. Now again, I'm going to refresh, open it up, and now you see your change. Two other things that you can do with the batch update. You typically don't do these too often, but you certainly can. Now again, this is not using a file. I can remove cost on a specified date or an MSRP. I can remove the cost or MSRP for a specific date. So what I do is I just come in and tell it what date I want it to happen on. So if I say on September 1st, I want to pull the cost off of these 3, I certainly can. Now this is actually when you start getting into the advanced management. So you might be removing the costs and then go back and adding one from a file for a specified date. You can do that too. So if I do this on September 1 and I hit next and start, on September 1, that cost is going to zero out. Same thing would happen with removing an MSRP. Now again, this one here, this one here, and this one here, we're going to have separate training sessions for these. Clean up duplicates. So if I want to check my inventory for duplicate part numbers, I certainly can. So let's just kind of go through my old maintenance here. We're going to look for duplicate part numbers. I'm going to hit next. Here I have a duplicate part number. The nice thing about this is it lets you know how many items you have, how many duplicates. It will also automatically try to get you to delete the second one, whatever is second in the list. Okay. Now, you're going to have occasions where you're going to have duplicate numbers, and they might be for the same type of product, might be a completely different product, but they are truly a duplicate number, even though they're both parts that you do want to keep in stock. The way to make them differentiate from each other is to put something in the manufacturer. So you see this one, I have Universal in one and Motorcraft in the other. So when I come back and look, and if I want to match it by description or manufacturer or whatever. Hit next. See, now I have no duplicates. Now, if I did want the system to go ahead and delete it, I can do that. And by the way, when I'm doing these duplicates, I can not only do it by profit center or category, I can even do it by a specific manufacturer if I wish. So let's say I do have these in as duplicates and I really want to get rid of this one. If that's the case, then I would just hit next. And then when I hit start, it will delete it out. Now, be careful with this because once you do it, you cannot undo it. So make sure that's actually what you want to do. Close. Once I refresh, that'll be gone. So if I go run it again real quick, no more duplicates. Inventory imports, we're going to do this on a separate little short video to show you how that works. And what we do is we have available for you templates that you can use. Makes it really easy. And we'll go through on how that's going to work on its own. So that's your basic management at the enterprise. And again, once you have your inventory entered and you send it out to your various locations, at the location is where you're going to finish setting it up.